Hello everyone, this is Jasmine Das and welcome to my channel Unpad. In this video, we will cover the second part of Toposheet, how to find area by the grid square method. And while you are learning here through this video, I believe you have your Toposheet with you. So let's get started. As we know, area is the product of length into breadth. On a topographical map, each grid square measures 2 cm into 2 cm. And since we know the 2 cm in the map is representing 1 km of the ground, we can say each grid square measures 1 km into 1 km. That is 1 square kilometer. It means each grid square has an area of 4 square centimeter in the map or 1 square kilometer in the ground. Now, if a certain area on a topographical map has to be calculated, then first we need to count the complete grid squares within the area. Then we need to check the remaining incomplete squares. If half, then take it as half. If more than half, then take it as 2 by 3. If less than half, then take it as 1 by 3. And finally, add all the squares together. The total number of squares will give the area of portion required. Now let's see an example here. Here we have 4 complete squares, 2 half squares. We have 5 squares of 2 by 3 and 4 squares of 1 by 3. Since each square has an area of 1 square kilometer, we can easily conclude the area of 4 complete squares, which would be 4 into 1 square kilometer, that is 4 square kilometer. We got 2 half squares, so half into 2 is equal to 1 square kilometer. Similarly, 2 by 3 into 5 is equal to 3.3 square kilometer. And finally, 1 by 3 into 4 is equal to 1.3 square kilometer. Total is 9.6 square kilometer. And now, finally, as we know, practice makes everyone perfect. Here I am giving a practice question to all of you. You need to find out the area inside this red boundary. And let me know in the comment section. The ability to understand topographical maps depends on the reader's ability to form mental pictures of the ground based on the information provided by the map. Hence, before reading map, first we need to understand all the informations contained in it. So in this video, we get to know all those informations and secrets of map reading. So, let's know how to read the relief features of a map. The surface of the earth has various relief features of different height or elevations, like mountain, plateaus, hills, highland, plain, low-lying regions, etc. And this surface irregularity has always been a challenge for cartographers. Cartographers are the people who are involved in the map making. Since topographical maps are large-scale maps, they show a great amount of detail, which includes varying height of hills and mountains, the depth of valleys and gorges, and a variety of other landforms. So, in order to show these three-dimensional features on a two-dimensional map, we need to use the techniques to show elevations and slopes accurately. Now let's see these techniques. First is layer coloring, in which different colors are used to show different heights or elevations from the sea level. Right hand side technique is known as hatchering. In this technique, the short broken lines called hatches are used to show the directions of a slope. In order to indicate a steep slope, the lines are drawn closer, and in order to show the gentle slope, the lines are drawn a bit wider. Now the third technique is hill shading. Hill shading shows the relief by light and shade. In this technique, a light is imagined to be vertically over the area being mapped. The steep slopes are then shown by dark shading and the level ground, whether high or low, are unshaded. The fourth technique is contour line, which is used to show the slope and height of the land. Now let's discuss this in detail. Although all three techniques before contour give a general idea of relief of the country, they don't give any idea about the actual height of the place. So, in order to overcome this disadvantage, contour lines are adopted. These are the cross sections of the contour lines to get the actual relief feature of the ground, which is regarded as the best technique among all. But before going into the further detail, let's first understand what is elevation and how does it different from relief. So, elevation is the height of the earth's surface above or below the sea level. Again I am repeating, elevation is the height of the earth's surface above or below the sea level. And relief is the variation of elevation from one place to another. It means the differential elevations of the land surface is actually the relief features of the land surface, which includes mountain, plateaus, plains, etc. So in order to show the three-dimensional features like mountains and plateaus on a two-dimensional map, we need to use the contour lines, which are the imaginary lines joining places having the same height or elevation from the sea level. And here is a visual presentation of relief features through the help of contour lines, which we say cross-section of contour lines. When we say imaginary lines, we mean these are not actual or real lines present on the Earth's surface. These are drawn by the cartographers after the actual survey of an area. Contour lines are numbered, which shows the height of the contour or the place. Sometimes the contour lines are too crowded and it's difficult to read. So in order to make it easier to read, thick contour lines are inserted at regular interval, which we call index contour. Here the thick contour lines of 750 and 700 are the examples of index contour. Now let's know about the contour interval. The interval or difference between two consecutive contour lines is known as contour interval. In the survey sheet of India, contour lines are drawn at intervals of 20 meters. Here in this example you can notice the intervals between the contour lines, which is 20 meters. Now let's know how to get vertical interval. Vertical interval is a vertical distance between any two contour lines. Here the height of point P is 1060 and point Q is 1000. Since vertical interval is a vertical distance between any two contour line, here the vertical distance between point P and Q is 1060 meter minus 1000 meter, which is equal to 60 meter. So here the vertical distance between point P and Q is of 60 meter. After contour interval and vertical interval, now it's time to know about the horizontal equivalent or horizontal distance. Horizontal equivalent is a horizontal distance between two points on different contour lines, and this distance is obtained by using the scale, and after getting the distance in centimeter, we need to convert it according to the map scale given. As per this example given, in case of vertical interval, we need to subtract the lower height from the higher one. But in case of horizontal distance or horizontal equivalent, we need to use the scale and get the distance between the point A and B. Now let's assume the distance between point A and B is 2.5 centimeter. Now suppose the scale of the map is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilometer, which means 1 centimeter in the map is representing 1 kilometer on the ground. So in that scenario, the horizontal distance or horizontal equivalent is 2.5 kilometer. But if the map scale is 2 cm is equal to 1 km, which means 2 cm in the map is representing 1 km in the ground, then in that scenario, 2.5 cm of the map can be regarded as 1.25 km in the ground. Apart from height and all, contour lines also tell us about the slope of the landform. In order to check the slope, we need to notice the gap between each contour line. Closely spaced contour lines indicate steep slope, whereas widely spaced contour lines indicate gentle slope. And through this picture, you can easily understand how the closely spaced contour lines give rise to a steep slope and how the widely spaced contour lines give rise to a gentle slope. Now, depending upon the shape of the slope, there are two types, convex and concave. Convex looks like a ground bulges outward, where the slope is gentle in the upper part and steep in the lower part. Now, carefully observe the contour spacing for convex slope. When the ground hollows inward, it gets a concave slope, and that makes the slope gentle in the lower part and steeper in the upper part. Observe the differences in the contour spacing for both convex and concave slope. You can pause the video to enjoy the mental learning. Now it's time to see the three-dimensional features on a two-dimensional map. Flat plain low-lying regions are having elevation ranging between 20 meter to 40 meter, which indicate that they have sufficient slope for natural drainage and is suitable for agriculture. Undulating land slopes gently up and down without having a flat surface anywhere, and they have an elevation of 50 to 300 meters. The white gap between contour line 30 and 20 indicates a flat land, and the undulating ground is shown like this. Now let's know escarpment. Escarpment is an upland with narrow top, steep slope in one side which is called scarp, and gentle slope on the other side which is known as deep. Highest part of escarpment is known as crest. So we can assume the contour lines are closely spaced at one side, indicating the scarp or steepness of the slope, whereas widely spaced on other side to indicate deep or gentle slope. Now let's see mountains and hills. As per US Geological Survey, there is no official difference between hills and mountains. Both have an obvious summit, which is its highest point, but in case of slope, hills are less steep than mountain and easier to climb. But in terms of contour representation, hills have fewer contour lines than mountains, which can be seen by close-spaced contour lines with increasing contour value. But more or less, the contour representation is same for both hills and mountains. Now let's see plateau. Plateau is rather a level stretch of land rising abruptly from the surrounding area, so it has steep sides with flat surface at the top, and in a map it is represented by closely spaced contour lines on the lower slopes, while there is no contour line on the upper slopes. But sometimes they are cut by the streams and rivers and create dissected plateaus. Now it's time to know about the ridge. Ridge is a long narrow stretch of hill or mountains with multiple summits or top, but between two summits there is always an area of lower land. So the contour of a ridge are elliptical and it looks like this. Now let's see watershed or water divide. Watershed or water divide is a feature which divides the water flow or the direction of the water flow. So watershed is an imaginary line following the crest of ridges which divides or separates all the water or streams flowing into one river from flowing into the next. Imagine a sloping roof of a house where the rainwater drains on either side. So the ridge of the roof would be the water divide or watershed. And on the map it is indicated by a dotted line joining the highest points on the ridge or crest. Now let's see valleys. Valley is a long depression between highlands. V-shaped valleys are found in the upper course of rivers in the mountainous regions where the rocks are relatively soft. In a map, it is shown by close spacing of the contour lines to indicate the steepness of the sides. And the apex of the V points to the higher side towards the source of the river or stream. In a valley, the value of contours is in increasing order and the apex of the V points to the higher ground. So, that's all for this video. Now it's time to leave. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe my channel as a token of motivation. See you in the next video. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy and keep learning.